At exactly 1 minute ago, the fragile equilibrium of the Middle East was shattered when the early warning radar networks of the Israel Defense Forces detected a massive coordinated launch from multiple subterranean silos located deep within the sovereign territory of Iran. This was not a drill, but the opening salvo of a highly coordinated multi-domain strike, designed to overwhelm the layered defensive networks of both Israel and the United States forces stationed in the region. Deep within the hardened bunkers of Iran, elite strategic missile forces had initiated the launch sequence for a massive swarm of medium-range ballistic missiles and attack drone. Their solid rocket boosters ignited with a fury that turned the midnight sky into a blinding canvas of orange and red. Simultaneously, mobile launchers hidden amidst the rugged topography rolled out of their concealed positions to unleash a secondary wave of low-flying loitering munitions and cruise missiles, creating a complex three-dimensional threat matrix. The sheer volume of the incoming barrage immediately triggered the highest state of alert across the entire Israeli command structure. Sirens began to wail across Jerusalem and Tel Aviv, their piercing shrieks tearing through the silence and sending millions of civilians scrambling for fortified shelters. The airspace over the entire region, including the densely populated territories of Palestine, instantly became a digitized battleground where the lives of countless innocents hung in the precarious balance. The Iranian strategy was coldly calculating, aiming to saturate the advanced interceptor batteries of Israel by mixing cheap, expendable drones with highly sophisticated precision-guided munitions. As the hostile projectiles breached the upper atmosphere, their telemetry data was instantaneously intercepted by the space-based infrared system, satellites operated by the United States Space Force. This critical early warning data was flashed down via secure data links to the Combat Information Center. These centers belong to the United States Navy carrier Strike Group, currently patrolling the eastern Mediterranean Sea. Aboard the flagship aircraft carrier, the Strike Group commander stared at the tactical plot as it blossomed with hundreds of hostile red tracks, each one representing a deadly payload hurtling toward the sovereign territory of Israel. The United States had anticipated such an escalation and had strategically positioned its advanced destroyers to form an impenetrable shield off the coastline. These high-tech warships, acting as the maritime vanguard of the United States military, seamlessly integrated their radar systems with the Israeli defensive network. This created an unprecedented unified kill chain. The airspace above Palestine and Israel transformed into a chaotic web of electronic signals, as both sides engaged in a ferocious struggle for electromagnetic dominance. The Iranian forces deployed advanced barrage jamming techniques, attempting to blind the early warning radars and sever the critical command and control links between the United States and Israeli command center. However, the Allied electronic warfare officers were prepared, executing rapid frequency hopping algorithms and employing active decoys to dilute the effectiveness of the Iranian interference. Within seconds of the initial detection, the Israeli interceptors roared violently upward. They left thick trails of white smoke as they climbed toward the edge of space. These hypersonic guardians were tasked with neutralizing the most dangerous Iranian ballistic missiles before they could begin their terminal descent. High above the Earth, kinetic kill vehicles detached from their booster stages, utilizing their highly sensitive infrared seekers to lock onto the scorching heat signatures of the incoming warheads. The resulting high-altitude collisions produced brilliant flashes of light that briefly outshone the stars, raining harmless debris down over the vast expanses of the desert. Down below, the middle tier of the Israeli defense architecture. This architecture engaged the faster cruise missiles and heavy artillery rockets that had slipped past the upper layer. Simultaneously, the iconic short-range system sprang to life, its radar tracking dozens of low-flying drones that were attempting to sneak through the valleys and radar blind spots over Palestine and southern Israel. The interceptors danced through the sky with terrifying agility, hunting down their targets and detonating their proximity fragmentation warheads to shred the Iranian drones into flaming confetti. The coordination between the United States and Israel was flawless, a testament to years of rigorous joint military training exercises entirely. United States Air Force stealth fighters, having scrambled from Allied air bases across the Middle East, established a combat air patrol over the most vulnerable sector. These fifth-generation marvels used their advanced sensor fusion capabilities to detect and engage hostile targets at standoff ranges, launching air-to-air missiles with surgical precision. The pilots, operating under extreme physical and psychological stress, communicated seamlessly with the naval forces offshore, ensuring that no Iranian asset went unchallenged. The intensity of the engagement reached a fever pitch when the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps launched their most potent weapon into the dark night. This was a newly developed hypersonic glide vehicle designed specifically to evade the existing missile defense shield. This apex predator of the skies skimmed the upper layers of the atmosphere at unimaginable speeds, its maneuverability making it nearly impossible for traditional algorithms to predict its terminal trajectory. The Allied command centers fell into a tense, breathless silence as the hostile track blazed across their screens, heading directly toward a highly classified military installation in central Israel. The standard interceptor missiles were simply not fast enough to catch it from behind, and a head-on collision required near-impossible computational accuracy. In a desperate last-ditch effort, the United States Navy destroyer stationed closest to the coast fired a salvo of its most advanced interceptor, pushing the limits of the combat system to its absolute breaking point. The ship's massive radar arrays focused all their emitted energy onto the incoming hypersonic threat, providing continuous, ultra-high resolution tracking data to the interceptors in flight. The margin for error was non-existent. A deviation of a single millisecond or a fraction of a degree would spell absolute disaster. As the Iranian hypersonic glide vehicle began its final, terrifying dive toward northern Israel, it passed directly over the airspace of Palestine, and the United States Navy interceptors converged on its predicted path. The sky was illuminated by a blinding, silent explosion, as the kinetic force of the impact completely vaporized the Iranian weapon just moments before it could deliver its devastating payload. The shockwave from the high-altitude interception rattled windows and triggered alarms across the entire region, serving as a visceral reminder of the apocalyptic violence that had just been averted. Although the immediate physical threat had been neutralized, the geopolitical landscape of the Middle East had been irrevocably altered forever completely. The sheer scale and audacity of the Iranian strike had crossed a fundamental red line, forcing both Israel and the United States into a posture of uncompromising retaliation. Deep within the command bunkers of Tel Aviv and Washington, military planners immediately began drafting the blueprints for a disproportionate kinetic response. Shifting their focus from defense to total offense, the United States military, bound by ironclad alliances and a commitment to regional stability, began mobilizing strategic bombers and elite special operations forces to dismantle the Iranian missile infrastructure at its very source. This brazen attack by Iran was a profound miscalculation. It had inadvertently unified the defensive architectures of its greatest adversaries. The sky over Israel, Palestine, and the broader Middle East slowly returned to an uneasy calm. But the invisible war of electronic surveillance and cyber espionage continued to rage with unprecedented intensity. Every radar station, every satellite, and every intelligence operative remained on the highest possible alert, knowing that the wounded Iranian military establishment was likely preparing a secondary, more desperate wave of attacks. The citizens of Israel emerged from their bomb shelters, their eyes scanning the horizon for the next sign of unimaginable danger and unprecedented total destruction. Simultaneously, the people of Palestine braced themselves for the inevitable geopolitical fallout that would sweep across their territory. The United States Navy carrier strike group altered its patrol pattern, moving closer to the Iranian coastline to project overwhelming maritime power and deliver a stark, unambiguous warning. The message sent by the Allied victory was clear and undeniable. Any attempt to destroy the state of Israel would be met with an impenetrable wall of advanced technology and an overwhelming, devastating counterstrike. The technological superiority demonstrated by the United States and Israeli armed forces had turned a potential massacre into a showcase. It was a showcase of 21st century military dominance. The Iranian leadership, watching their massively expensive arsenal burn harmlessly in the upper atmosphere, was forced to confront the harsh reality of their operational limitation. The world held its breath, acutely aware that the successful defense of Israel was only the opening act in a much larger, far more dangerous global conflict. The strategic calculus of every nation on Earth had shifted, with military analysts scrambling to decode the lessons learned from this historic multi-domain engagement. The age of hypersonic warfare had officially arrived, bringing terrifying new security challenges. The United States, alongside its steadfast ally Israel, had proven that they still possessed the ultimate high ground. The night had been won, but the specter of all-out war continued to cast a long, dark shadow over the entire Middle East, waiting for the slightest spark to ignite an inferno that could consume the world. The resilience of the Israeli defense network, bolstered by the unparalleled might of the United States Armed Forces, had held the line against the most significant Iranian threat in modern history. As the sun began to rise over the ancient cities of western Jerusalem, it cast a golden hue over the contested lands of Palestine, and the true cost of this invisible war remained to be fully calculated. The silence of the morning was a deceptive facade, masking the frantic, round-the-clock preparations of a world teetering on the absolute brink of total annihilation. The United States and Israel had drawn a line in the sand with fire and steel, daring Iran to make another move. The ball was now in their court, and the next chapter of this deadly saga would undoubtedly be written in blood. The sheer magnitude of the intervention. This intervention underscored the unbreakable bond between the two allied nations, a bond forged in the crucible of combat and sealed with the promise of mutual survival. The Iranian regime had gambled everything on a single, overwhelming strike, and they had lost spectacularly against the combined might of the United States and Israel. The echoes of the intercepted missiles served as a solemn reminder that peace in the Middle East is only maintained by the constant, unwavering application of overwhelming military force. The future of the region now hangs in a delicate balance, with the United States standing incredibly firm. They are the only shield between civilization and the chaotic ambitions of Iran. The United States Navy did not simply rely on its surface vessels to defend the skies. Deep beneath the surface of the Mediterranean Sea, advanced stealth submarines quietly shifted their positions, opening their torpedo tubes and bringing their own cruise missiles to a fully primed launch status. These silent hunters possessed the capability to completely wipe out the Iranian coastal defenses within a matter of minutes, completely undetected until the very moment of launch. Furthermore, the intelligence-sharing apparatus between the United States and Israel was perfect. They were analyzing massive amounts of encrypted Iranian communication data in real time to predict the exact timing and trajectory of each subsequent wave of attacks. This digital battlefield was just as critical as the physical one, with Allied cyber warfare operators launching sophisticated counterattacks against the power grids and command networks deep within Iran, severely crippling their ability to coordinate their forces. The citizens of Palestine, caught in the geographical crossfire of this monumental clash of titans, experienced the terrifying reality of modern warfare, as the sky above them transformed into a deadly kaleidoscope of interceptor contrails today. The Palestinian territories became an unintentional amphitheater for the greatest display of anti-aircraft technology ever witnessed, a stark reminder of the inescapable reach of the Iranian aggression. The supreme leader of Iran, isolated in his heavily guarded bunker, received continuous, demoralizing reports of the total failure of his highly touted missile forces. The technological gap between his military and the combined forces of Israel and the United States was no longer a theoretical debate but a proven, undeniable reality broadcasted across the tactical screens of the entire world, cementing a legacy of Allied dominance and uncompromising absolute defensive supremacy.